So what is a doomer? Other than being a meme format that is about some sad dude who is pretty much relatable to the majority of young men. So of course I wanted to dig deeper, and what everybody does nowadays is search it on Google, right? So what is a doomer by Google's terms? So I look up doomer definition and we got a doomer, and by extension doomerism, are terms which arose primarily on the internet to describe people who are extremely pessimistic or fatalistic about global problems such as overpopulation, peak oil, climate change, pollution, nuclear weapons, and runaway artificial intelligence. Wikipedia. And I also wanted to ask the question, why is it that for some odd reason the younger generation seems to find this idea of doomerism so appealing? Obviously I wanted to dig a little deeper than just the search terms on Google and Wikipedia, so I encourage you guys to stay with me on this video because it's going to get really interesting in finding out the reason why these essentially normal people become doomers and what you could do to actually not be a doomer and the complete opposite of this. So I first want to start off here by saying that doomerism is not something that you're essentially born into, but rather something that you actually learn and develop. You see, I think it's a whole bunch of people that essentially just have really bad habits, and they have friends that actually encourage these bad habits. And I would give an example here to be my younger self. Whenever I was like 14 to 16, I had a group of friends and we were pretty much what the internet nowadays would call doomers. Literally all we would talk about is whatever world problems were going on, and as well as just talking about our favorite porn stars and if we preferred this woman's tits or we preferred this woman's butt. To us, this was pretty much completely normal because this was just the way that we literally thought as pretty much a group. It was kind of odd and a little disgusting now that I look back on it. The thing is, the younger generation only really has two paths, and those paths consist of the doomerism path, which is very group-based, and I think that's the reason why it would be considered like the easiest path to take. Because, well, you're just literally grouping up with a whole bunch of people that really just feed into the internet and bad habits and all these different things that are just more or less instant gratification, which is so much easier to consume, rather than the opposite, which would be the self-improvement path. Now, the self-improvement path can be a little bit more isolating to some. Now, the reason that I say that the doomer path is essentially so easy is because the world is literally fueled by negativity. If you turn on the news today, there will probably be like one positive thing out of like 100 negative things. It's literally how the world works. I think that because the world has such a pessimistic view, what it does is it allows people to feel like it's okay to pretty much have these kind of views and share them with their friends. So essentially, think of it this way, that it's normal and it's okay because the internet does it all the time, if that makes any sense at all. Essentially, I want you to think of it this way. When back then, young Mild Dan was talking to all of his friends about whatever world problems were going on, or just different memes and different just stupid random things, or even talking about girls, these can all be, I would say, probably interesting subjects for most men. And I think that because of these negative things being talked about all the time and being the interest of, I guess, a lot of people's focus and stuff like that, it creates a very, very negative outlook on the world and just the things and people around you. Now, the reason that I say that the self-improvement path is just so much more isolating is simply for the fact that it's just going against the norm. It's going against what doomerism stands for, and honestly, it's the fact that the majority of people are doomers, you know, especially in this younger generation, Generation Z, millennials, stuff like that. They all tend to have that doomerism mindset because it's so much easier to have. So going against the norm and being somebody who's on self-improvement is a little bit odd. Young men are starting to realize that, and there's a very small minority of these men who are wanting to change. You know, they're wanting to change their looks. They're wanting to change their physiques. They want to change their mindset, but it's only a small amount. And keep in mind, your relatability will literally be shot because I'm not joking, once you start like having a rich mindset, you start working on your goals, whether it's like fitness or something like that, people will make fun of you simply because they cannot relate to you. And the reason why I say this is because, well, whenever you're relating to your doomer friends and stuff like that, you no longer can sit there and relate about the hub or something like that, because you're trying to talk about the gym or something like that. You're trying to talk about maybe your goals and stuff like that, maybe starting a YouTube channel or something like that, or maybe even just like getting a new job so you can make more money. Whatever it be, they can't relate to you because they aren't on the same path that you are. There's the doomer path and there's a self-improvement path. They are both very vastly different. There's a big mental change and also physical change whenever you actually start taking the self-improvement path. And it's mostly because you will have to sit there and reject all of those bad old habits that you had in the past that are pretty much bogging down your mind, and you will also have to take those sacrifices and stuff too. And it will be hard, it will be challenging, and I'm not joking, it will take probably sometimes even years start to actually better your habits. When you're on a lifelong journey of a downhill trend and then all of a sudden now you want to start going up, it's not going to be a perfect line up. You will be going up and down and up and down. It's just how it works on the self-improvement path. So to essentially finish off the question here, what is a doomer and why have they given up, is simply because it's just the easier route to take. Doomerism is an easy mindset and an easy path that you can follow, and honestly, it's for the most part pain-free, okay? Now, of course, obesity and laziness and the lack of attraction that you will get from other females because you're addicted to porn and you look at them as objects, now, you know, maybe there's some agony in there, okay? That can be pretty painful, okay? Being lonely and stuff like that. But you could honestly, in my opinion, just completely swap your mindset, completely swap your path. Take the self-improvement route, and I'm not joking, you will still be in pain. You will have to go to the gym, you will have to lift weights, you will have to bench, you will have to strain your muscles and be disciplined. But at least you will have direction, because doomers nowadays and the younger generation, honestly as a whole, they have a false hope because of society and all the negativity that is pushed on them. And I feel honestly really bad for doomers because of that. And that's why I make these kind of videos for you guys, so that the doomer that's watching this video, or the self-improvement guy, sorry, my ring light just went out, but anyways, whether or not you're a doomer or you're on self-improvement, I want you to succeed, and you deep down want to succeed as well. And that's what we're here together trying to create, is a younger generation that isn't addicted to porn, that isn't addicted to cigarettes and smoking weed and stuff like that. So if you're a doomer or you're on self-improvement, I really just want you to improve your life, okay? And honestly, in my personal opinion, this video right here, whoa, you can check out right now, and I'm not joking, this will help you with so much more discipline, and this will fix you in ways that you didn't know you needed to be fixed. So if you want to start developing more discipline, whether you're on self-improvement or you're a doomer, check out this video and find the fire within you. Stay Diablo.